Hello YouTube, welcome to my channel. This little guy this little guy right here is Jaden, and Jaden is 5 months now, and I just wanted to take this time. For some reason I was looking at my phone, going over just the memory of giving birth to Jaden, and I was looking up something on blood transfusions, and I was like, you know what, that now is a good time to tell my story about how Jaden was born. Okay, so I was they said that I was about 38 weeks when I gave birth, but I felt like the weeks was a little off. I felt like I was overdue. I had been ready to have Jaden before I had him. I had him on October the 22nd, 2019. And I've been wanting to have Jaden, but every time I tried to go, they'll tell me, wait a little longer, they did a couple ultrasounds, and they saw that he was healthy and everything was fine. And so I didn't have to rush having him, but I was so big that I was just like, you know what, I'm ready to have Jaden. And I just felt like the weeks was off. So I felt like I was already 40 weeks, approaching 41 weeks. And they were saying I was measuring, 38 weeks. So I was like, okay. So on October 22nd, that morning, I woke up, a few days before that, I had felt like Jaden's movements had slowed down dramatically, and I chalked it up to him being growing in my belly. So I'm like, okay, he's getting bigger, he's growing, so maybe that's why his movements are not as strong. I could feel him moving every now and then, and they would be like little flutters. Like little flutters of movement. Like when you first got pregnant and you feel those little flutters of movement. That's what I felt at 9 months. So I was like, okay, as long as he's moving, it's fine, because I would keep the counts in mind, and I would move my belly around a little bit just to get him moving, because I was noticing that he was slowing down with his movements. And so on October the 22nd, I got up that morning, and I was like, you know what? He didn't move all last night. It was like he was in a tight little ball, and I would move my stomach, I would eat something, I would drink something. It was absolutely no movement. And he was just in a tight little ball in my belly. And so I was like, you know what, I'm going to go to the doctor and get him checked out, because something's not right. I was laying there, and something just told me. It won't actual words, but it's just a feeling I got, like, you need to go to the hospital. Something going on with Jaden. It's just I was laying down sleep, and I just got up. And as soon as I got that message, and I was like, I gotta go to the hospital. So I called my aunt. She took me to the hospital, and she wasn't really in a rush, because she felt like, oh, you just overdue and you just ready to go to the hospital, whatever. Ain't nothing. It's not really an emergency. Nothing's really wrong with you. You just ready to go to the hospital. So she stopped by her house first before she took me to the hospital, and grabbed some things, to take with her to the hospital while she waited with me to see, just to check on Jada. So when I went to the hospital, I got there, I talked to the lady, and I was like, well, he's not having many movements, so I just want you guys to check on him and see how he's doing. So I walked her there to the top, and, well, I'm trying to think, did I have a wheelchair? Did they wheel me up, or did I walk? I think they wheeled me up. So they wheeled me up to the look at how intent he's listening. They wheeled me up to that room, and when I got to the room, the doctors came in. It was like 3 nurses, and they was just asking me questions. How's the movement? What's going on? And I was just telling them everything I was feeling or whatever with Jaden, and how his movement had slowed down and he was just in a ball. So she hooked me up to a monitor. And when she hooked me up to the monitor, she was like, she moved it around a little bit. She was like, okay, there you go. He has a very strong heartbeat. So I was like, okay, cool. So when she said that I was relieved, I was like, okay, thank God his heartbeat is strong. So Then another nurse came in there asking me questions or whatever. After a while, I'm laying there, just relaxed. I'm like, okay, he's strong. I'm like, you know what? Maybe they'll just induce me because I'm ready to go. So then she left out for a little while, came back in, adjusted the monitor, looking for his heartbeat. It was a little lower, so like she could, like the baby moved or something. Usually when they move, it gets a little lower. So she adjusted it to where she could hear him again, but it wasn't as loud as it was before. So then it was two doctors in there, two nurses in there, and then they came in there, did my IV. She was like, well, either way you're here, you're not going anywhere. So, we're going to go and have this baby today. So I'm like, okay, good. So then the doctor come there, he asked me, what's going on. I'm telling him, well, his movements really slowed down. He's not really moving much. And he still hasn't moved since I've been there. Now, by this time, I was already there 2 hours. They hooked me up to an IV. They was giving me fluids because they was like, okay, that might help his movement. That might make him move. He was not moving. He hadn't moved the entire time. By the time the doctor came in there and asked me, I won't exactly. I'll say about an hour and a half. Maybe an hour. Maybe about an hour and 15 had went by. I don't even think it was an hour. Maybe 45 minutes had went by. Let's not say 2 hours. And I'm thinking about it. It was kind of quick. So like 45 minutes in there. And the doctor come in. And then 15 minutes later, he had called in a lady for the ultrasound to do an ultrasound of my belly. So when he coming out, I'm saying, yeah. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, his heartbeat or whatever strong. But I still haven't felt him move. Like, he hasn't moved at all since I even been here laying here. Or whatever. And the doctor was like, okay. So then he was telling me how I wanted to deliver my baby. And I'm like, you know what? I don't care how I deliver him. I wanted a vaginal birth because I have 5 children. I have delivered 2 C-sections and I've had 2 vaginal births. Let me see. I had 1 emergency C-section and 3 vaginal births. And Jaden was my other. Jaden is my other. He's my emergency C-section. So I wanted a vaginal birth, just because the healing time is better. It's just easier for me to heal better, vaginally. So when he asked me my options, I told him, you know what, I don't really care. As long as he gets here healthy, I really don't care how he's delivered. And so he said, okay. So the lady came, she did my ultrasound on my belly. And when she did an ultrasound on Jada, she checked my stomach and stuff. And she was like, okay, he's failing 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3 scales or something. And I didn't really understand her because she was feeling my belly and trying to talk to me and, just basically keep me calm. But she asked me how I was feeling with Jaden. And I was like, well, you know what? It don't even feel like I'm pregnant anymore. And it really didn't, you guys. It did not feel like I was pregnant. Like, it felt like my stomach was empty. And I told the lady in the ultrasound that. And when I told her that, she paused and then she kept going and she was like, oh, I never heard that before, in a monotonous tone, like not panicking or acting, like she really registering what I'm saying. And then she kept going. But I did see her look at the doctor. So then the doctor looked back at me and he was like, after she did that ultrasound and said that I was failing 2 out of 3, that Jaden was failing 2 out of 3, he said, okay, that's enough. Come on, you going back here. We're going to do a C-section. He was like, we're just going to go ahead and get him out of there. And so next thing I know, they were strapping my arms down. This lady was shaving me. Shaving me. And it was so fast. The IV was in. They were strapping me down. I was being wheeled back. I didn't even have time to tell the people that was there waiting on me. The people, my auntie and them, I didn't have time to tell them that I was having a baby. I was going back there to emergency C-section to get Jaden out. And so next thing I know, I was counting down and they was putting me to sleep. And when I woke back up, I asked them what happened or whatever, what's going on, with Jaden, because I didn't know anything. And my sister came there and she checked on him and she told me, she said, he was born. When he was born, he didn't have any blood. He actually had to have a blood transfusion. That's why his movement slowed down. My placenta had somehow, I guess it stopped working. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure what happened. Somehow they told me that my baby was giving me the blood through his placenta. He was giving me his blood. And I just never heard that before. Like, I tried to Google it and look it up, but I just never heard it. And I still have not ever read anything on it. I know one other birth I've read up here, I've seen on YouTube, where she was, it was a black woman, and she gave birth, and she was saying that the movement slowed down, and when she went to the hospital, that the baby was born white, like white as snow. That's exactly how Jaden was. Jaden was born white as snow. You can already see he's a pretty light feller. He's mixed. But he was born absolutely sheets white. He had no blood, no color, anything. They had to give him a blood transfusion. He was in ICU for 7 days. I actually left the hospital and he was still there. And he's just my miracle baby. I thank God. I thank God. They told me, everybody, even the nurse, like the director, she came to visit me and she said, thank God you came when you did. Because if you would have been even 10 minutes later, I keep laughing. If you would have been even 10 minutes later, we'll be having a different story. She said we will have a different story to tell. And I just thank God. I just thank God. I mean, y'all have no idea. I thank God. I thank God that I got that message to go ahead to the hospital. I don't know. An angel's watching over me. Nothing but God. And thank God I watched that video, because when I watched that movie, because see, I used to didn't watch videos with emergencies, because when I was about to have my baby, I was like, you know what, I don't want that bad energy or that bad karma. Like, I just really don't want to watch videos where the births are complicated or anything like that. But you know what, thank God I watched that video, because ever since I watched that video and her baby was born like that, and I say nothing but God told me to watch that video, because I won't watch the videos with complicated births. Her baby was born white as a sheet and needed blood transfusion, and she said her movement slowed down, and that's what keyed her in as to why she had to go to the hospital. And ever since I had watched that video, I was on point of checking his movements. I was like, okay, let me check and let me make sure he's still moving. If I want to watch that video, this is my 5th birth. I would have just been like, oh, baby's going to do what it do. You don't really pay attention to that count, your movements. I mean, I get them sheets out. I don't have 5 babies like I would know. But thank God, I was on that counting movements ever since I watched that video. So that's why I'm making this video for you guys. Because you never know what message you're going to receive, or what angel is trying to give you a message. So, ladies, please count your movements. If you're watching this video, count your baby's movements. I thank God. This is Jaden, y'all. As you can see, he is a fat boy. He is 5 months, and he is a big guy. He is not missing any meals. He had super bad acid reflux. That's another video, but I just say I just want to let you guys know about his birth. And count your movements, ladies. Y'all have a blessed day.